I think when you're first starting out, you feel like, how am I going to make this a living? How am I going to do this? But the referrals start to come in, and every one of the clients, they've either come from someone who was a job op in the work group or have been a direct referral from someone who I got through the work group.
Now you help your clients build funnels. You are really good with marketing and bringing in traffic. Like, how did you start to do this for yourself? What was the shift?
I had been working in both the United States and the United Kingdom. And so as an e-commerce and product seller, every time I traveled, my business pretty much had to get put on hold. And I suddenly found myself in this position where I needed more freedom to be able to travel. But I was really tied to where I was. How could I sell things and make money if I was traveling all the time? And that was something that I was like literally talking to Deanna. I was talking with her about it one day in one of our Zoom calls. And I said, what about what you do, Deanna? How did you learn what you do? And she shared information with me about your course. And it was like, it was literally this case of me and my fingers as quickly as they could go, going and checking out the page. And I just started diving into the info. And it was this aha moment for me. It was like seeing this path that I could find a way to have the freedom that I needed to do the things I needed to do for my family, which meant a lot of travel, but still make money. And that's how it all started for me.
Why is everyone so happy with you? What are you bringing to the table that is this difference maker? And why are your clients so satisfied?
For one thing, I actually genuinely care, and I'm interested because I'm a curious person. I'm interested in these people's businesses. And sometimes more than anything else, what a client needs is just to know that they've got someone that they can bounce their ideas off of, who's going to be there for whatever pivot they decide to make. If you really want to develop those long-term relationships with clients, you have to sort of be willing to be that sounding board and just you hop on a Zoom call and let's chat it out. I honestly think if you were to ask my clients, like what's the number, it's not so much because I can connect the tech dots behind the scenes. Like everybody likes that, but it's probably more about the fact that we can just get on a call and let's figure out what's going on for you for the next 6 months. What's the next best step for you?
Why I love that answer is that's exactly why I created the course and the community, because that's where the gap was. That's where the white space was. So where are you finding your clients right now?
Honestly, every one of my clients has somehow originated from your work group, from the work group. There's not enough good things I could say about the work group. I got my very first job there. It was just a post in the work group, and I sent an email, hopped on a Zoom call, and by the end of the day, I had my first client. And it has just gone from there. And, I just really can't say enough about the power of one client. I think when you're first starting out, you feel like, how am I going to make this a living? How am I going to do this? But the referrals start to come in, and every one of the clients, they've either come from someone who was a job op in the work group or have been a direct referral from someone who I got through the work group.
And that's why I created this work group, because I knew if I could just get people started with a few clients, they were like a premium person anyway, that it would pay off for everybody.
Absolutely. And, another big benefit, at least for me, for that work group, is that when I am on with a client and there might be something that isn't my zone of genius, there is something that I'm not super knowledgeable in, it really goes a long way when I can say the words, I'm just going to talk to one of my colleagues. I'm going to hop into the work group because I've got a whole group of, rock star colleagues who someone else will have the answer there. And you can do that when you don't know, like we see people do it, hop in and say, hey guys, what do you think? And you can bet there's going to be another person in the group who's going to be able to help you navigate that, whatever it is you're coming up against. And that is gold.
How did the Unicorn Digital Marketing Assistant School help you get to this place? Because I know you're booked out. I know you're getting your choice of clients. Like you seem to ace your discovery calls. How did that prepare you?
when I was thinking about taking the course, I knew that could I go and maybe figure out some of this on my own? Like maybe if I wanted to Google and YouTube and look at weird answers for the next year or something like that. But I wanted to be able to go to a trusted source and have the confidence of knowing that I had something to fill in the gaps of what I didn't know and that I could go back to it again and again. And so I have this weird analogy. So like if you're freelance, career is the road, right? It's the road to get you where you want to go. You want to freelance. UDMA for me is like the car. It's like this solid vehicle that's going to help you get there. And it's absolutely going to get you there faster. Like it's the thing that's going to get you the skills. And it does mean a lot because like Emily, your name, people know you in the online space. You built such a wonderful reputation. And so when as a freelancer, you can say, oh, I've taken Emily Reagan's course. Well, that means something actually to people. They're like, oh, like they know, oh, she's got some knowledge there. She's got, she knows what she's doing. And I think that just speaks to the reputation that you've built in the online space because it holds some weight to be able to say that I've taken Emily's course. The number of people go, oh, okay, great. So it's just a great resource for so many of those reasons, really.
Thank you. I just need to get on a call with you every week. I have a question. One of the objections I've got, somebody was like, oh, well, her course doesn't have a certification. What do you say to that?
I would say that not a single one of the clients that I have worked with has ever asked me about a certification. They don't care. None of them probably have, most of them don't have certifications either. They're real people building real businesses, and all they care about is whether or not you've got the skills to do the job.
Okay, here's the other question. I am not a marketer, and I didn't get a marketing degree. I don't have a 4-year marketing degree.
I don't have any kind of a marketing degree. I have learned through experience, through being part of the online space, through staying on top of what's going on. The best way to learn marketing, because let's be honest, marketing and the methods that are working for people change and shift all the time. In fact, I would almost say, no shade. If you've got a marketing degree, that's great, but it's not going to help you succeed or help people succeed in this space. It's just it's not what you need. You don't need that. You're going to learn on the go. And as you gain experience with people, just keeping your finger on the pulse of what's going on and reacting to it, really.
What are the soft skills that you see that really matter to be a successful marketing assistant?
I think, really the ability to just listen and take on board what your clients are saying. Sometimes more than anything, for that hour Zoom call, they need to be able to unload what's on their brain to somebody who gets it. Like that is such a huge thing for people. And being a cheerleader when sometimes your clients need that, just being empathetic and actually caring, that's, I think one of the biggest things is just being genuine and actually caring and doing what you can to help them.
Okay, so a lot of people are doubtful that there's enough clients. I feel like we kind of talked about that. You mentioned the opportunities. We share jobs in the Unicorn Digital Marketing Assistant School community as well. There's also plenty of jobs out there on their own. Like you don't actually need me to do it. But I think what they're really saying is they don't see the ROI of this investment. Like, will I make my money back? Will this be worth it? So how has this been financially for you? And have you gotten your money back?
The whole question about whether or not there's enough work, there's unlimited work, and it's only becoming more and more so. Yes, there's more people freelancing. That is true. But think about just the businesses that you drive down the street. Like any one of those businesses might need social media help or an update to their really old, 1990 website that they've got going on. There's so much work available. And the thing is, we talked earlier about that power of one client. You suddenly find yourself oftentimes with more work than you can handle. That's the fact. You're just not thinking big enough. If you're thinking that there aren't enough jobs, because I think people expect that they'll just fall into their lap. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, not to be funny, but they actually do in the work group because those job ops are like legit.
So what would you say to someone who's on the fence about investing in themselves, taking this school?
What I would say is that if you're on the fence, I truly believe that it's the fastest path to making it an actual real living, a real lifestyle that can work with whatever it is that you need to do in your life. That's the thing. You could spend years trying to figure it out on your own. There is so much stuff on the inside. So it is, it's absolutely, for me, legitimately for me, it was that fast path to, I had my first clients. I mean, I wasn't even finished with the course fully, and I had my first clients. So, I mean, it's, if you want it and you're ready for this and you want to go out there and you want to make this a good paying income and lifestyle for yourself, good paying job, good paying, whatever you want to call it, a career, if you're ready to make a career out of being a freelancer, you need something that's going to give you that resource, something that you can go back to and refer back to again and again. I still pop in to the course, and what, you know, like I'd like to consider myself like pretty well versed in most of these things at this point, but every once in a while I'll be like, well, wait, I'm not quite sure about this, and I can dip back into it anytime.
That little boost in confidence, which is a word that keeps coming up, I think it's a resource for that, for sure.
Just being able to speak with any kind of authority will wow your clients, because they don't know. That's why they're looking to you. It's not that you have to be an absolute expert on everything. That's not the point. The point is that you have to be willing to go and find the resource and figure it out. And that's what having the course, you know, in my little saved cache on my computer gives me, is the ability to know that I can figure it out if I need to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you said that. It's just like, it's the truth.
Ask me how many Facebook groups I've had to jump into and talk about myself or pitch myself. I really, because honestly, legit, because of the work group, I haven't had to do that. You know, it's been referrals and just putting my heart into the job referrals that do come through, picking the ones that I know are right for me and going for it. And so I don't show up on social media, you know, I'm just not doing all of that, which is sort of funny. You know, we joke like we help other people market, but almost never market ourselves sometimes. That's just how it is. But
what a relief though, because that holds so many people back. And I think that whole fear of finding the client, I mean, there's so much deep stuff there, fear of rejection, fear of failure. But it's also like fear of putting yourselves out there. And we talk a lot about this right now going into the Unicorn Digital Marketing Assistant School, but that you don't have to. You do need to have some dialed in assets that communicate you're a professional, but you do not have to market yourself. And I didn't for 10 years. Okay, so you wrote to me that the Unicorn Digital Marketing Assistant School has opened so many doors for you. What has been the biggest door, like the biggest outcome out of creating and pursuing this digital service business?
For me, it's absolutely knowing that at any given time, I can be wherever I need to be and keep working and keep getting paid. That's the thing. That's what it's done for me.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story